The Golden State Warriors are currently 5th in the Western Conference and are within arm's reach of securing a 4th seed and a home playoff series. Just let that sink in for a second. And there's one man in particular that deserves a lot of credit.
Klay 3! There's 12!
What if I told you Klay Thompson is currently 0.2 points per game away from averaging a career high in points? Which is all the more incredible when you consider things like this were being said earlier in the year.
As much as I love Klay, he's slipping. Same thing with Draymond. They're not the same. In the finals, you could see they're not the same guys they was 2 or 3 years ago. Oh man, Father Time is knocking on the door on a couple of those guys.
You know, it hurts when someone like Charles Barkley, with the platform he has, says you're not the same player prior to the injuries you have. It's like, no duh, man. Give me some freaking time to get that back. But you know what? I'm going to internalize it, and it's going to be fuel for me to be even better. I'm going to have a great year. I bet on that.
And Klay did exactly what he said he was going to do. He used all of this as motivation because after starting the season terribly, over the last 38 games, Thompson is averaging 24 points per game and averaging nearly 5 3-point makes a game on 43%. Just to put this into perspective, Klay is on track to average the 7th most 3-point makes per game in a single season. And well, as you can see, it's a list that is pretty much entirely owned by the GOAT. And it's been the last couple of months where Klay has looked unbelievable offensively. It's just typical Klay, using his shooting gravity to terrorize opposition bigs and wings like on these 2 plays. On this first play, Loon sets a screen to get Klay free, which Reed kind of presses up on after Klay starts moving downhill. Klay then uses that opportunity to feed a rolling Loon. So then a few plays later, when Loon once again sets a screen, Reed is left planted as he doesn't want to press up and allow another bucket for Looney rolling to the basket, which gives Klay enough time to hit a 3. Outside of consistently making the right plays, Klay is still Klay, and that involves making a lot of shots that pretty much no one in NBA history can make as consistently as he does. And it's plays like this I'm talking about. Klay gets the ball in the corner with a 6'10" Jabari Smith all over him. So Klay hits a little jab step, and with practically no separation, he rises up and hits the shot over Jabari Smith before pointing at the Houston bench. And it's this exact reason why the Warriors remain a serious contender. Because for the Warriors to have 2 guys that consistently make shots off the catch and off the dribble that no one else in the NBA can do as consistently, it's just impossible to defend. I mean, take this for example. Here's JK with the ball. It looks as though the Dubs are going to run a typical JK to Klay handoff. Both Blazers defenders expect that, so they stick with Klay, which allows Kuminga to slip straight through to the rim. Now, why am I highlighting this play in particular? Because Klay was 3 of 14 at the time, and he still drew 2 defenders, which caused an open dunk. This is even more impossible to defend when Paul and Wiggins are shooting well, in addition to, well, obviously what Steph does off the ball, and this is without even mentioning the newest Warrior, who we all know was going to be good, but I don't think anyone could have imagined just how good Donte DiVincenzo has been this season. After taking some time to adjust to the Dubs system, over his last 36 games, Donte is averaging nearly 12, 5 and 4 on 45% from 3. And what makes Donte so great is he's a legitimate shooter. And so what I mean by this is Donte's capable of coming off screens and pulling up without hesitation, like I just mentioned with Klay. Watch this play where JK sets a screen for Donte before he hits the 3. Even on plays that aren't designed for him, all he needs is a tiny bit of space to get off his shot because of how quick his release is. And what makes Donte more valuable than other 3-point specialists isn't just the fact he's also a fantastic defender, but he's great at leveraging his 3-point ability to make plays for others, like here where Kuminga sets a screen, and as the Wolves blitz, he makes the easy pass over the back for the dunk. In large part to these 2 guys, the Warriors are doing something unthinkable. They are winning games without Steph Curry. Over the last 17 games, they are 11-6 without Steph. But I don't think you guys truly understand how unusual it is for the Dubs to be winning games without Steph. Let's just put things into perspective. In 2017, Curry missed 31 games. In those 31 games, they went 17-14, which sounds okay, but when you realize they were 41-10 with him, and the team consisted of prime Clay, Dre, and KD, but were barely above 500 when he didn't play. And this still doesn't do things justice. From 2014 to 2021, so from when Steph became an All-Star, look at the difference in record with versus without Steph Curry. That's a 75% win rate versus a 35% win rate over a 600 game sample size. So the fact that the Dubs have been able to win 11 of their last 17 games without Steph in a season they have struggled is quite literally a miracle. But as good as Dante and Clay have been, it's not just because of two players. In the absence of Wiggs as well, Jonathan Kuminga has been asked to step up, and he's done exactly that. Outside of just making highlight plays, JK has completely turned his season around offensively. Through the first 33 games, he was only averaging 7.5 points per game and had only scored in double digits in 10 of those 33 games. Fast forward to the last 17 games, he's averaging 11 points per game on much better efficiency and has scored in double digits in 11 of those last 17 games. It's the consistency that Kuminga is now giving the Warriors on offense that will give Kerr enough confidence to play him in the postseason this year. There are just things he's capable of doing that not many other players can do. He has the same vertical pop as a center, but is significantly quicker and more agile than a center, so he's great at slipping those handoffs or screens with Clay or Steph before then attacking the rim downhill. And if the defense does help over, he's more than capable of making those kickouts to open shooters. Also, if you guys want an idea as to why the Warriors won't even entertain trading Kuminga unless it's for a superstar, well, you've seen his athleticism and his defense, but it's the fluidity of his jump shot that makes you think he could be a 25 point per game scorer if he reaches his potential. I mean, look at how fluid he is hitting pull-up middies. It's also worth mentioning that Patrick Baldwin Jr. is shooting a casual 29 of 64 from 3 on the season, and is all but proven he will be an NBA level 3-point shooter. It's a matter of what other skills he can continue to show that will determine just how good he can be. Anyways, if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel for more. Have a great day. Bye.